Today I'm on a lake that I've never fished before in the middle of winter. And I'm going to show you how I find crappie from scratch. And this is the same process you can use on your lake as well. Stay tuned. Look like a pretty good fish on the screen. Oh yeah, that might be big fish of the day right there. It's a 13-inch blackfish. All right, so rule number one, crappie are lazy. They want to travel the shortest distance from stable, deep water to the food source. And this especially holds true in the winter when they're lethargic and their metabolism is slowed down. So right here I'm looking where this channel bend swings into the bank. These contour lines drop off steeply. They're close together. This is a transition point you always want to check first. All right, here's a school of fish. Pretty shallow on this little secondary point. Let's drop in. There's quite a bit of flickering. It almost makes me think it's bluegill. There's one. Ah, if that's a bluegill, it's pretty good size. It's a solid 11.5-inch crappie. That's a good start. All right, these crappie are pretty shallow and aggressive. I didn't really expect that. I had a guide trip yesterday, and I don't think I ever caught a crappie that was less than 20 foot deep. But that was a totally different lake. And you have to go where the crappie are, not where the crappie were. Got a couple following here. He's about to run out of time. All right, here's a massive school of fish. Out here closer to the channel. Just as you would suspect. Like I said, crappie, they're kind of lazy. And they would rather stay close to deep, stable water, but at the same time be close to the bait source, food source. That feels like a little better fish. Oh yeah. Goes about 11.5. Feels like another good fish. Nice 12-inch black crappie. This pile's fired up. All right, so this is a very typical winter pattern, especially for black crappie. We're out here on the main lake. We've got a channel that swings in close here. So they have quick access, there's another fish, to deep, stable water. But the shad are all over the place right here. So they actually also have access to their food source. All right, so this is the second point we have fished this morning that has fish on it. So we're establishing a pattern. We're not fishing spots. We're establishing patterns that we can run with. All right, I've got my gain turned up a little bit hotter than I normally run, just so we can bait track this tiny bait, so you guys can see a little more of what's going on. It looks like a decent one on the screen. He's putting up a fight. Get in the boat. Got a little brush down here on this little point, holding some fish. Let's trace this top edge and see if we can call one up. There it is. Solid keeper. That's 12-inch black right there. He inhaled it again. Let's get some tools out. All right, so there is a school of shad, and all these are crappie scattered in here. Sitting over 25 foot of water, and you can see that I'm running right up the edge of this channel. So we're going to turn back around, put the live scope down, and see what these look like. All right, we just turned around to look at these schools that we just found on side scan. Let's drop into this first one here. There it is. And that's a nice crappie. That was probably the biggest one of the day so far. Not sure if you got that on camera. Got one coming up to it. There it is. Solid keeper. All right, they're right under the boat here now. Let's toss in, see if we can talk one up. He's turning up. There it is. Another nice solid crappie. So this is just one of the mini schools that we found just cruising this channel, this little ledge. Let's toss back in there again. There he is. These fish are aggressive. "12-inch black crappie." There's another one. It's a solid 10-inch keeper, but we don't need it today. All right, so let's find some more of these schools that we just found on side scan. There's a big school. Something just spooked him. Came towards the boat. Something busted that big school of shad and scared the crappie too. All right, there's another massive school of crappie. Let's drop in here. You can see me coming in the screen at about 34. I just turned one. Turned a couple of them there. There he is. It's a good fish. Real good fish. Just found a massive brush pile. There's one. Felt like a pretty good fish. It is a good fish. Nice 12-inch black crappie. All right, so we came to the mouth of this deep cove on the main lake and stumbled onto a brush pile I just marked here. Very first cast to it, caught about a 12-inch black crappie. So this is a little different pattern, but not too different from what we were doing earlier. It's still main lake. It's still close to deep water, but instead of open water fish, these are relating to the brush. Just remember, in the winter, key is close to near water. Crappie are lazy, and they don't want to travel very far between stable water and food sources. That was another nice fish. Just got off at the boat. Looked like a pretty good fish on the screen. Oh yeah, that might be big fish of the day right there. It's a 13-inch blackfish. Beautiful. Good school of fish sitting right here. Let's drop in. There he is. Feels like a pretty good fish. Solid 12-inch black crappie right there. Just remember, wintertime crappie are probably the most predictable, and a lot of it will carry over from lake to lake. They want to be close to their food source, and they want to be close to deeper, stable water. Find those two things in your lake, and you will find the crappie.